Hello Queensland. Actually, in fact, hello the world. And welcome to our very first digital launch of our 2021 season. My name is Lee Lewis and I'm the Artistic Director here at Queensland Theatre, and it is an extraordinary joy for me to be here today telling you about the shows that we're going to be doing for you next year. I'm standing here at the moment on the stage of the Bill Brown Theatre, on the lands of the Yagara and the Turrbal people, and as we acknowledge elders past and present, it is my very great pleasure to introduce to you our Arts Minister, the Honourable Leeanne Enoch.
Hello, my name's Leeanne Enoch. And of course, yesterday was the Queensland election, so depending on the result, I may or may not be the Queensland Arts Minister right now, but it's an absolute pleasure to be addressing you for the 2021 Queensland Theatre season launch. Let me begin, of course, by acknowledging the traditional owners of the land on which we're all gathered and pay my respects to all of our elders, past and present. And of course, this year has been a very interesting year, a challenging year for all of us. We could never have anticipated at the beginning of 2020 that we would be facing a global pandemic and that we would be in the situation that many of you have all found yourself throughout this year. But of course, the season launch for Queensland Theatre gives us all the hope that 2021 will be a very different year for all of us. And a huge congratulations to everybody at Queensland Theatre on the incredible work that they've done to give us all the hope and aspiration that we need just right now. Congratulations on the 2021 season launch.
I'd like to take this opportunity to thank our government partners for their vital support. Queensland Theatre would not be looking forward to a 2021 season with such hope had it not been for the support, financial and administrative, of our state, federal and local government partners. And I want to thank all of the individuals, all of you who've given us so much in the last year. Our donors, our corporate partners, our foundations, including the Tim Fairfax Family Foundation, and our principal partner, RACQ, and of course our visionaries, and the supporters of the Landmark Production Fund. In an ordinary year, you'd be sitting in your seat in the theatre thinking to yourself, oh, come on, get on with it, I want to find out what the plays are. But this is not an ordinary year, so you are more than welcome, wherever you are, to sit back in your comfy couch, top up your drink, settle in, and let me tell you about the extraordinary stories that we hope to share with you on the Queensland Theatre stage in 2021. The first play that we're going to be staging is a classic. It's Thornton Wilder's Our Town, and it's my very favourite play in the world. And here to tell you all about it is a very lucky director. It is, I think, the most beautiful play to come back to the theatre with after a long time of not getting to go to the theatre. It's a huge story told very simply about a beautiful group of people who live in a small country town, and it's an extraordinary reminder that it's the small things in life that matter in the face of big tragedy. I just want people to fall in love with our town. I want them to fall in love with Thornton Wilder. I want them to fall in love with the idea that a classic can transcend time. I want them to fall in love with the actors who are beautiful and incredibly talented, and remember that that's what we love about theatre, is the extraordinary performances that we get to see. I want them to remember how essential theatre is to their living and breathing and thinking and dreaming. That's what I want. All of that. In March of 2020, a beautiful new Australian play got shut down after 2 previews. And I know that there will be a huge audience thrilled to know that we are managing to bring back XXX by Glace. And here she is, hair a bit longer, but sass completely intact, to tell you all about it.
It's about a straight Wall Street banker that has an affair with a trans performer, and then his family finding out the day before he gets married. And it's a very personal story for me. It's a rom-com, essentially, and the story treats both parties with equal weight and respect. I wanted to tell a love story, a true story that I don't think a lot of people have really ever thought about, or if they had made assumptions about. And I just wanted to present that truth from the inside and make everyone else experience it like I have, like we do on the inside.
When I was a little girl, I remember on a Sunday afternoon seeing Richard Burton and Elizabeth Taylor duking it out in Shakespeare's The Taming of the Shrew, and I fell in love with the play. I know the times have changed and it's controversial and the politics are different now, but I really believe that in the hands of the right director, every play can find a way to live in a new age. Now, the right director for this, I think, is Damien Ryan. He is clever, he is passionate, and he's going to create for you a new version of Taming of the Shrew, which I think will surprise and delight you.
It was a deliberately and confidently divisive play. That was part of the purpose of it, an extremely funny, very blackly comic, deliberately divisive play. Hopefully you'll find that the play is about a lot of things that maybe people don't recognise when we simply react to its title or we think entirely about its ending, and sort of reverse engineer the play based on Kate's submission on the final page. There's a lot this play has to offer. And I hope that we as a company and that you as an audience can dig beneath the surface of a play that really puts on the table some of the preeminent discussions that are facing the world today.
Anchuli Felicia King, an Australian playwright who is far too young to have written as many plays as she has, or to have travelled to as many places as she has. Google her. She is inspiring. And she has written a play, a comedy, about the ugly corporate cultures that hide inside the beauty industry. The play is called White Pearl.
White Pearl is set in Singapore in the office of a fictional cosmetics company called Clear Day, and it centers on the 6 Asian women who work there, all of whom come from really different countries in Asia, really different backgrounds, really different class, really different ways of speaking English. And when the play starts, we see that there's been a crisis. One of their ads has gone viral online for being offensive, and the rest of the play is this sort of spiraling, chaotic disaster that stems from that first event. The play is really about whitening cream, and whitening cream as a thematic lightning rod to explore the cosmetics industry, to explore the ongoing legacy of colonialism in Asia in terms of whiteness and anti-black racism, and a lot of sort of complicated, thorny issues around ongoing intra-Asian racism within the region.
There is nothing more exciting than a new Australian play written for us with the hope of changing the country for the better. Susie Miller wrote Prima Facie as a challenge to our legal system to better support survivors of sexual harassment and sexual assault.
Hello, my name is Susie Miller. I'm a playwright and the writer of Prima Facie, which I'm extremely excited to announce is coming to Queensland Theatre in 2021 after a false start in 2020. The other thing you get the privilege of seeing is the incredible Sheridan Harbridge creating this character of Tessa Onslow, and she brings to the story incredible humour, despair. She's funny, she's quirky, she's very smart, and she also brings us to the point where we really see, through her experience, what needs to change in the legal system. I think it's a really exciting time for us to all come together and talk about what we can do to interrogate systems and make sure that they are fair. And I think I would love to be part of that discussion in Queensland as well. And I cannot wait to see you all in Brisbane for the opening.
We are so lucky to be able to open our theatres at all. We know that. And we know that you are eager to come back into the auditorium, settle down in your seat and look forward to a great night of Australian storytelling. But when you get there, you're going to look around and you're going to see the auditorium only half full. And that's because we've been given the advice that the safest way to come back to the theatre is with a bit more space around us. So we're only making 50% of the seats available, which is fine. It's difficult when it comes to sustainability of the theatre, but we're managing all the way up until Boy Swallows Universe, when the only piece of advice I have for you is please buy a season package and make sure you get a seat to this wondrous play. We'll be partnering with Brisbane Festival and QPAC to bring this blockbuster novel to life. It is going to be a play like no other. Trent Dalton has created an Australian phenomenon. Former artistic director Sam Strong is coming back into town to create this wonder for you and to tell you more about the journey of this great Australian novel to a great Australian stage is the great Australian playwright Tim McGarry.
Boy Swallows Universe is a coming-of-age story set against the backdrop of Brisbane's working-class fringe of the 1980s, and we see the world through the eyes of Eli Bell, a young teenager who is trying to work out what it takes to be a good man and to live a good life. I was particularly captivated by the bond that was between Eli and his babysitter, Slim Halliday. And it really reminded me very much of the relationship that I had with my own grandfather. Not that he was a convicted killer, but there was a wisdom about Slim and a warmth in their relationship that very much connected me back to my own childhood and my own grandfather, which I really, really connected with. And I just found the story so raw and so honest and just full of heart.
The Queensland Premier's Drama Award sits at the heart of this company. It is a partnership between the Queensland Government and Queensland Theatre in the future of storytelling from this state. Which is why it thrills me this year to be introducing to you the winner of this year's award, Steve Peary, to tell you about his play, his award-winning play, Return to the Dirt.
My name is Steve Peary. I am the writer and also one of the performers in my play called Return to the Dirt. Steve is me. This is when I was about 25. I had no money. I was at a crisis point in my career and I decided to move back home. And I found my way into a local funeral home where I started working as a funeral director. I had never done anything to do with death or dying or funerals. I was 24 when I had worked with my first person who had died, and by the time I was 26 I had worked with over 400. I think it's actually really important just to know that it's not so much a play about death as it is just about trying to live and being a young person and trying to find out your purpose and to find out your place in the world and to try and rebuild yourself after spending the first quarter of your life trying to figure out who you are. I promise it's funny. I promise I'm great at parties.
We're going to wrap up the end of 2021 in a great big bow made by one of Australia's greatest artists. She's had a career spanning decades, spanning continents, spanning all levels of theatre. I don't have good words to describe her. It's Robyn Archer.
Hi, I'm Robyn Archer, and the show you'll be seeing from me is Robyn Archer, an Australian songbook. I'm so happy that Queensland Theatre Company has commissioned this from me. As great as they are, I won't be doing The Voice or Ksan. Every time you go on an internet search to find a great Australian songbook or what are the 10 greatest Australian songs, it's a pretty predictable list. So what I'm trying to do is come from a different angle, acknowledging the great writing of First Nations people. Sometimes we dip into politics. Sometimes, every now and then, at the moment, I'm dipping into the oblique attitude that Australians have towards a love song. And there's even quite a rude little bit that we're doing at the moment, an inheritance, I have to say, from my late beloved mother. Watch out for that one. Sometimes a song can carry the essence of what any nation might be. And I hope that a little bit of that's going to come forward in the Australian songbook.
So there it is, the 2021 season at Queensland Theatre. We cannot wait to share these great productions with you. And I know I get a little bit overexcited at times, but that's just because I want as many people as possible to come to the theatre, to have that life-changing experience that only live theatre magic can create. I want that for as many people as possible. And out of that impulse came a conversation this year about how we reach more people. And in a year where we're thinking about things differently, we've come up with a new idea. We're going to partner with Australian Theatre Live to capture 3 of our productions in the 2021 season and make them available to you to see in your own homes. We're creating a digital subscription package. You're going to go online, you're going to find out about all the plays in far more detail than I've been able to give you. You're going to pick your package, you're going to decide whether you're going to come to the theatre or whether you're going to see them online, and you're going to be a part of 2021 at Queensland Theatre. We cannot wait to share the year with you. Thank you for being with us.